Dear brothers and sisters, I welcome you all to hear and see this video message. Today we are going to pray for denied votes, that is missing votes to Muslims, Christians and Dalits in India. Denied votes means by the ruling BJP governments in union and state governments ruling states, from the electoral list deliberately Muslims votes and Christian votes and Dalits votes in a particular constituency where more people of these religious minorities removed from the electoral list. With the election commission support and by the ruling government they are doing. We should pray for this. The election commission should be function as a autonomous body and give the rights to all the citizens of India irrespective of religion and caste and ethnicity. Content for this video I make it in the description. You can go through and study. Denied voting, missing votes to Muslims, Christians and Dalits in India. India is often celebrated for its status as the world's largest democracy, but relatively little attention is given to the fact that many citizens are denied the chance to vote. While voting is a fundamental right promised to every citizens, not having the ability to vote is a predicament that especially impacts the lives and political prospects of the minority communities. A 2018 study published in the academic journal Economic and Political Weekly found that in the May state election in Karnataka that year, an estimated 1.2 million Muslims were not able to vote, a number that suggested Muslims were disproportionately missing from the electoral rolls. In Maharastra on 2019 general election, Muslim family with 12 to 15 voters, all of whom voted in the previous election, after which their names were cut large scale and deep-seated voter suppression has become a reality in India, and there is a systematic bias against Muslim minorities. Voter suppression is the elephant in the room in India, have not properly addressed. Several thousands of voters belonging to religious minorities, Christians and Muslims, have been allegedly removed from electoral rolls in Karnataka Assembly election 2023. Total number of 9,195 names in Shivajinagar constituency in Bengaluru, about 8,000 missing names including vote from the SC, scheduled caste, backward class and the Muslim communities. In many constituencies across the Bangalore city would have been tampered and meddled with impunity. If such mischiefs are allowed to carry on unchecked, the confidence of the people in the electoral process will be destroyed and devastated beyond measure. The Shivajinagar constituency in the heart of the Bangalore has around 1.91 lakh voters, 40% of whom are Muslims. The constituency has been represented by a Congress MLA since 2008. This is a political conspiracy to identify Christian and Muslim voters and deprive them of their voting rights. This is a blatant attempt by the ruling BJP party to rob minorities of their fundamental right to vote. In Gujarat, where lakhs of Muslims were reportedly unable to vote as their name was not on the electoral list on 2014 Lok Sabha election, A huge proportion of Muslim voters were missing in 16 assembly constituency of Gujarat, where BJP won with margin of fewer than 3,000 voters. If a person Muslim in Uttar Pradesh with 4 voters in his family, chances are that only 3 will get to exercise their right to a franchise granted by Article 326 of the Constitution. The fourth person name would either be missing or excluded from the electoral roll. There is a huge exclusion of Indians at large from the electoral rolls, but the exclusion of Muslims is higher. It threatens to make a mockery of our democracy. In 2019, a no voter left behind campaign that the names of the 12 crore were missing from the electoral rolls, of whom 4 crores were Dalits and 3 crore Muslims. This suggests that some of the weakest section of the society are being systematically excluded from the democratic process. Many elected representatives in India believe that they won because of a powerful community chunk of votes. They feel that they are answerable to those castes or communities which helped them in the electoral win and tend to ignore the Dalits and religious minorities. This happens because the Dalit or minority votes polled as a single chunk cannot win election as they are a numerical minority. In 2019, the no voter left behind campaign found the most troubling levels of exclusion in India, most populous states Uttar Pradesh and Maharastra. The reason can be that what the electorals were revised, they were migrant workers, so the booth level officers tasked with the job did not find them at the given address and hence they got left out. About 42% of Muslims are illiterate as per census data and the same goes for Dalit. So because of their economical background, they don't stay in the same location for more than 4 years and hence can be missed out at the booth level verification. Here one of the critiques of the system is that electoral rolls are revised not by full-time employees dedicated to the job but by government teachers who can be careless or overburdened. A more insidious reason for the exclusion of minority voters in Uttar Pradesh during the years of the Bharatiya Janata Party reign would be a deliberate attempt to change the electoral demography from the real demography. All that needs to be done by cadres or panna pramukhs preparing for a campaign is to access the voting choice around the specific polling booths and then applied for the removal of particular names. At this point, booth level officers are expected to verify the facts, but again because they are not full-time employees, they frequently do not do their follow-up and the names are just removed. In many cases, the BLO could be loyal to the ideology promoted by the establishment or would just be obeying instruction and would be happy to oblige in the process of removing Muslim names. In the case of Dalits too, across India, this possibly happens from a certain prejudice that does not respect or care about the choices that voters from the community would be making. Since the groundhog work of the BJP is the most formidable in India, this potentially gives it a distinct advantage in closely fought election in the state its rules. The last minute distribution of tickets in many cases also limits the time an opposition candidate has to ensure that voters are registered on revised electoral rolls. The BJP, conversely, with its blueprints and cadre force intact, would potentially have its people on the rolls regardless of whether they change the candidate. The story of missing denied votes is much larger than the impact on one election. It is about a more extensive systematic hollowing out of our democracy if the more vulnerable section of Indian society are excluded. Over the years, this trend of missing names of religious minorities from the electoral rolls is increasing. This is a conspiracy to disenfranchise the minorities so that the BJP can win election easily. A 32-page draft will be presented during the Pragyaraj Dharam Sansad, which is to be held in March 2023 in Sangam city, and a group of 30 Hindu seats and experts prepared the first draft of the constitution for the proposed Hindu Rashtra. Haridwar Dharam Sansad Sir Anand Swarab released a preamble for the constitution which states that minorities, specifically Muslims and Christians, will be barred from voting. This agenda shows that make Muslims and Christians as second-class citizens. This should be curtailed. Deleting the names from the voters list is one of the many malpractice indulged by the BJP federal government in the past 6 and 7 years. Pliable bureaucrats are in the national and state election commissions, and the election process gets manipulated and communalized. I hope the law does not provide for an electoral roll based on caste or religion in India. So, Election Commission of India should prevent this ugly work.